Crossroads Football Live, presented by Victory Kia, is the place to be. Catch Max Williams along with Zach Brown and Ray Robinson. Crossroads Football Live, presented by Victoria Kia, the ultimate destination for South Texas football. Sponsored by Palace Bingo, Victoria All Sports, Frost Bank, Crossroads Football Live, presented by Victory Kia.
How's it going here at Crossroads? Well, we're back here from Halloween. We're here for another week here of Crossroads Football Live. Here presented by Victory Kia. Again, back here with your man here, Max Williams. We had a lot of matchups here to look at here in Week 10. And now, as we like to do, we're going to start here in our Game of the Week. Before we do that, we're going to check out our viewer poll here and who you guys thought would have won this game here tonight before we get to the highlights. And it was pretty even, right, between El Campo here in Calhoun with your results right now. But now it's time to see how this game would turn out. And again, for both of these teams here, this is a huge game for playoff seeding. And Calhoun looks to stay undefeated in district play, while El Campo looks to get back on track. They had a tough loss there last week to Bay City. So how will this game here go for both teams? El Campo, they get here on the board first. Again, after making a field goal, they get a response. How about Vladimir Garcia finds the end zone for the touchdown, and El Campo get there on the top with the lead. And then triple option offense. This is what Richard Whitaker does for Calhoun, and they respond. First and goal, senior fullback Fisher Frank gets in the end zone, and this one turned out to be a little different. The final score in this one, Calhoun wins 22-10 over El Campo. And for El Campo now, they have lost now here 3 straight, and they're going to have to get back on track. Again, they play Livernia last week to finish off the season, and then Calhoun will play Bay City. And then tonight, our sports reporter Ray Robinson was at Sand Crab Stadium to witness this game. He had a chance to talk with a couple players and a couple coaches here after the game. Ray? All right, unfortunately, we couldn't get the audio in that one there. But again, before you look at this game, Calhoun, again, they get here the win, and that's huge. They stay undefeated in district play, like I just mentioned, and it's going to be huge here for them going into next week's game. And now over to Cuero. They had their senior day versus the Ingleside Mustangs out of Corpus. And one player that we want to keep an eye on, we know, is Walker Dietz. They start off quick. How about the early touchdown there? Jace Gordo finds there Hernandez and gets the 2-point conversion. Cuero gets up 14-0. And just like that, they're going to go deep here. How about Yardo finds a man, 44-yard strike to the touchdown. And how about that there for Cuero? They get there the lead 22-0. And then for Cuero, this is a game they need to have to stay in the playoffs. We'll be talking about that later tonight. But Ingleside, they would keep fighting, right? They got on the board here late in the first half when Isaac Freeman scampers out and he finds it there in the end zone. But Cuero, they get the job done. 40-14 over Ingleside. And for Cuero now, this is a huge game. They're 2-1 in district now. This is a team right now that wants to get in the playoffs. Again, in that division, they're going to be at least top 4 teams make it. So Cuero, they play Robstown there next week. So we'll see what happens. And now, how about Victoria East? Again, this was not what they wanted to do here tonight. And if you're a Victoria East fan, that loss, unfortunately, will not make Victoria East go to the playoffs. They lost this game now 49-17 to Piper. And again, they play a Thursday night game to finish off their season against Smithson Valley. And again, stay with us here again when we come back here on Crossroads Football Live. We're going to check in again with Zach Brown. He was at the Yoakum game tonight. We'll see how that one went. And we got a couple of 3A Division I games we're going to look at when we come back here in a minute on Crossroads Football Live.
This portion of Crossroads Football Live is brought to you by Victory Kia.
All right, welcome back everyone here to Crossroads Football Live. We checked in just a minute ago with Calhoun, getting that massive win there over El Campo. Torrey East unfortunately had a tough loss we just saw a minute ago. But now let's check out here the score here of Yoakum game tonight versus Hitchcock. Tough one, 35-14 there, they lose. And for Yoakum, they play Hallettsville next week, and whoever wins that game will have a deep shot most likely to get into the playoffs for both teams. And again, one of our reporters though was at the game here tonight, and Zach Brown, he had a chance to talk after the game, fortunately with this loss, still with quarterback Trey Cuellar and star wide receiver Xavier Barnett. So, Zach?
Well, thanks, Max. We're here at Yoakum. The Bulldogs didn't quite get the result that they wanted, but you guys play one of the best teams in the state of Texas, and you hung with them for a long time. What did you see out of your guys tonight to give you a lot of confidence going forward and into the postseason?
We never gave up. We kept fighting, you know. It is a good team, but through the end, we kept fighting. We never gave up, and that's the good thing about this team. We never give up. We always keep going.
For sure, man. It was 14-7 for a long time. Do you want to kind of talk about like what happened and what led to, I guess, the final score? Because I mean, you guys had them kind of right where you wanted them for a while.
Yeah, we were doing good on defense. Our defense was holding them. We just gotta start executing on offense better. If we just get more scores on offense, we'll be good. Our defense did good though.
For sure, and you guys have the talent to get it done. And next week you're gonna have to get it done against Hallettsville, who I believe fell to Columbus. This game is always preceding the Lavaca County rivalry. It's kind of a big one. I mean, how excited are you guys for this one? And talk about the importance of winning this ball game next week.
We definitely excited because you know it's the Lavaca County rival. We always come into this game hot, but we want to get this win so we got have better seeding going into playoffs.
For sure. All right, Trey, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now we're going to bring in Xavier Barnett, his star receiver. And Xavier, I mean, you guys didn't quite get it done this week, but you have another shot next week against Hallettsville. That's a big one. What are you guys thinking about going forward, and how excited are you guys for this Lavaca County rivalry?
We're very excited. Last year, we was doing good, beating them, and then they slipped out with the win last year. But this year, we're going to come in hard and execute what we need to do and win.
For sure. So what do you guys need to do going forward? I mean, how does this team get better on offense to be able to pull out the win and, you know, have that confidence going into the postseason? Because you guys are in one of the toughest districts in the state of Texas, so you're tested for sure.
Yes, sir. I just feel like we have to come to the game ready. Offensive line has to block. Receivers have to block on run plays. We have to catch the ball.
For sure.
Yeah.
All around accountability, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right, Xavier, man, it's always a pleasure. Final score in this one, 35-14. Hitchcock does pull out the victory. Yoakum plays for playoff seeding against Hallettsville next week. Reporting from Yoakum, Zach Brown, KVU TV 25, News Now Sports.
All right, Zach, but now we're going to turn our attention here to some 3A Division II action where we had the Industrial Cobras have their senior day versus East Bernard Bramos. And again, East Bernard trying to get started early. They get a big play there from Ty Warnack, gets out in the play there. But then how about this play afterwards? The Bramos take it there to the house. How about this play? Malik Thomas finds it and goes all the way. And East Bernard, one of those top teams there in, again, division there, 3A Division II, and Industrial. It's tough for them to kind of fight back, but they made a play here. Nice little screen pass there to the outside, and it sets them up there. Nice play from Ashton Garza, gets them inside there to the red zone. But that would get the only score there of the drive on that play, because again, it turned out East Bernard won 24-7. And again, East Bernard still top there of that, again, 3A Division II. And again, Industrial, they're in a tough spot to try to make to the playoffs. But now to another 3A Division II matchup, Tidehaven had a close one there with the Bowling Bulldogs here tonight. They win 28-21. They're still in firm control of easily getting there into the playoffs there in 3A Division II. But now how about over the 3A Division I? The Edna Cowboys, again, they had a big time win over Goliad there last week. They're trying to keep building off of confidence, and they start off strong. How about this play there from Chase Schubert, finding Hunt and burying the tight end. Nice little play, sets them up. And then after this, how about the run here from the running back? Nice job here from number 6, Cantu. Takes a couple people there, missed tackles, and then goes right there into it, in there to the red zone. They would score there on the next play. And again, that would just be taking care of business there afterwards after that for Edna. They win the game there, 56 there to nothing. They still have easily firm control there of 3A Division I there in districts. They play at Palacios there next week. And speaking of Edna, they are tonight's here Band of the Week. And last week we gave it to St. Joseph there for our Band of the Week, but now props up there to Edna as they are led by their band director Russell Bolsek and then Emily Carcano as the assistant director. Congrats to both of them and for Edna for being this week's Band of the Week. Now over here to Palacios. This team, again, it's one of the other teams we're looking at here in the same division, 3A Division I. See what they could do tonight to get into the playoffs, and that's not good what they wanted to. They lost the game here 28-0. They went into this game 3-2 in district play. Means they're 3-3. They're going to have to look ahead because, again, that division's still tough. You got Goliad, you got Edna. They have to play Edna, though, next week. So for Palacios, they have to win that game in order to make the playoffs. But a team that looks like they're going to make the playoffs there in that same division there in 3A Division I is Goliad. Again, they responded, gets the win 49-0 on their senior day versus Aransas Pass. Again, that was a big-time win after that tough loss they had to Edna there last week. So props up there to Goliad. They play the West Osos Bears there next week. And stay with us here on Crossroads Football Live. We're checking a couple of scores there with Shiner and Yorktown. How those two teams do there in 2A. And also we'll take a look at, some other teams as well. Victoria St. Joseph as well for the Flyers. Check all those teams and more coming up on Crossroads Football Live.
This portion of Crossroads Football Live is brought to you by Frost Bank. Exactly what you unexpected.
Welcome back here to Crossroads Football Live. We were having a couple problems earlier getting the interview there from, again, Ray Robinson there and talking to Calhoun afterwards. We got it up now, and he had a chance there to talk with the head coach there, Richard Whitaker, and a couple other players as well. So, Ray?
Max, your game of the week brings us here to Port Lavaca, where the Sandcrabs walk away with the victory. Final score, 22-10. And I got Coach Whitaker. Coach, how we feeling post-game?
Well, it's exciting. I'm so proud for our kids, proud of what they played. Senior night tonight at Sandcrab Stadium, possibly our last home game of the year, and I'm so proud of the way these kids fought tonight.
They did play tonight, and that was made clear in the second half. Can you just talk about what was said in the second half? Because when they came out, there was a lot more aggressive. They switched the gears, should you say?
Well, we let our seniors talk a lot tonight before the game and at halftime. Those guys were so pumped up to play, and I think they had all the young kids, fired up as well. And so, great football team in El Campo. This was a big win for our program, big win for the kids, and I'm just very proud of them.
That's great. You guys are taking on Bay City next week. This is a district championship game. Both of you guys are undefeated. So, what's the mindset going into next week?
Well, we're going to enjoy tonight. Tomorrow, we'll worry about those guys, but they've got a great football team, and hopefully our kids will show up and we'll give them a good game.
That's great, Coach. You make sure you guys enjoy it tonight. All right. Thank you. Most definitely. Max, back to you.
All right, props up there to Calhoun getting a massive win, and again, staying there atop there of the district there with a win there over El Campo. But another game we saw at their senior day was St. Joseph Flyers. They played at Memorial Stadium here again, and they're trying to get a big victory against St. Anthony Yellow Jackets. If they win this game, they get to the playoffs, and they started off the gates. Opening kickoff taken by number 11 there, Charlie Stefka, all the way to the house, and the Flyers get up 7-0. But then how about this, Aiden Aragon, after being up 7-0, they respond right back. Quick offense, finds again number 12, Charlie, there on the same play. And then how about this, Aiden Aragon, I talked about him a lot. It was kind of a miscommunication there on the handoff, and then Aiden Aragon just takes it, finds it there in the end zone, and they would take the 14-0 lead. And again, against St. Joseph, it was a very comfortable win. They get the win 49-18, and for the St. Joseph Flyers, they are going to the playoffs. Again, they get to face San Antonio Christian next week, but with this win, they are automatically going to go to the playoffs for the Flyers. Now, how about Shiner? They played Luis here tonight, and again, they still are taking care of business. They win again easily over Luis, 68-0. They play a big-time matchup against Yorktown there next week, and that's going to be top there for the district. And then speaking of Yorktown, it was not what they wanted to do going into that matchup against Shiner. They lose 48-7 there to Falls City. And for Yorktown, they're going to have to respond because they need to win that game in order to win the district there out there in 2A Division II there against Shiner. If Shiner wins, they automatically win there the 2A Division II title. And stay with us here on Crossroads Football Live. We talked about a lot of teams and areas. We're going to look at a couple more games and take a look at some playoff situations and scenarios when we come back here on Crossroads Football Live.
This segment of Crossroads Football Live is brought to you by Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends.
All right, everyone, welcome back here to Crossroads Football Live. We've covered it here, a lot of different games here tonight, but we got a couple of the games before we get to, again, some playoff situations that I'm going to highlight for everyone here in our area. First, let's look at this game here between Hallettsville and Columbus. And again, Hallettsville needed this win there up there. Again, fighting with Yoakum, but they lose there to Columbus 42-12. And that matchup against Yoakum there possibly could be a game in the week preview. We're not going to spoil anything yet, everybody. But again, that's a big-time game for both Hallettsville and Yoakum again, to see who would have a chance to go to the playoffs there between those two teams. Now, how about Ganado? They get the job done over Bloomington 86-0. And again, for Ganado, they are just showing why they're one of the top teams here in 2A. They get to play at Danbury there next week. And then how about Refugio? Same thing. Refugio in the past 4 games, everyone, has not allowed a point here this season. They beat Skidmore Tide and Bobcats 62-0. And again, they're going to have maybe one of their toughest tests, though, coming up next week, though, because it's for the 2A Division I title versus the Three Rivers Bulldogs. That one should be a great game there to watch. And now, everyone, we now are at the point here where I wanted to highlight, again, some of the teams here, looking at it if you want to see which teams got to get to the playoffs, which teams are locks already into the playoffs, and what are we going to look at here. We're going to start here in 2A, and then we're going to move up all the way there to 5A. So, first let's look here at 2A here, and some of the teams that we're mentioning is Shiner and Yorktown. Now, both of these teams right now, Shiner, it looks like they should be a lock to go into the playoffs right now. Now, Yorktown, we just saw a little bit ago, they had a tough loss there to Falls City. And again, Yorktown, they need to win that game because Falls City has that head-to-head win over them. So for them, they have to take care of business against Shiner and get that win. For Shiner, if they win, then most likely they're going to be into the playoffs. If they lose, it shouldn't hurt them that much. So more of a situation for Yorktown if they got to get the win over Shiner there in 2A in order to make the playoff race. Now over here to 3A, we have a couple of teams we're looking at. Palacios, you got Industrial, Hallettsville, and Yoakum. First, I'm looking here at Hallettsville and Yoakum. Both of these teams had tough losses. We saw Yoakum, tough loss to Hitchcock there earlier, and then Hallettsville, we just saw a minute ago, lost to Columbus. So those two teams right now, whoever wins that game most likely will get into the playoffs there, again, in 3A, their Division 2. Now, the situation happens where one of the teams do not get in. They're going to need some help to get that last and fourth spot. And 4 teams make it in that side of the district for both the teams. Now, Palacios, they're in a tough situation there. They had a tough loss there tonight versus the London Pirates. They're going to need, basically, they had to win out basically to make the playoffs. And right now, they are in a tough situation. They're not eliminated yet, but they're going to be a situation they have to beat Edna again. But most likely, if you're a Palacios fan, you need to get that win tonight over London. But a team that is for sure, again, eliminated there tonight is the Industrial Cobras. They, again, after that situation, they had to win out to possibly make a chance for Industrial. They are now going to have, again, a tough road to get up to there for Industrial the rest of the way. But again, if you're Hallettsville and Yoakum, you still got a chance there in 3A. Palacios, they need to win over Edna in order to get inside to the playoffs. And now here we go over to 4A ranks between the teams. And here are the teams we mentioned: Calhoun, El Campo, and Cuero. Again, for Calhoun, again, that's a big time win. They look like for sure they're going to get into the playoffs here right now. Now, El Campo, they're in a situation that's a little bit tough because, again, they've lost to Bay City now. They lost to Calhoun tonight. So they should still get in at that last spot. But again, it's going to be tough because they got teams right behind them with Beeville Jones. That is also, they just won there tonight as well. The team we did not mention, but they did win tonight for Beeville Jones. So that's the situation for El Campo. They got to take care of business there next week. And then for Cuero, that looked like that win there tonight over Ingleside should get them into the playoffs. And again, for Cuero, they've had to go through a lot of battles this season. They lost their starting quarterback in Jackson Marine, and they get the job there done, and he's done a great job there, again, for Chase Guardo, and he's helping the team